This Saturday from Tampa, Florida, Saturday night's main event is going down. And since the return of Saturday night's main event in December of last year, this will be our third SNME event. And let me tell you, folks, even though there are only four matches on this card, well, like Backlash a few weeks ago in St. Louis 2 weeks ago, this card is absolutely loaded. We're going to kick things off with the steel cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre as these two try to end their 14-month long rivalry that started all the way back essentially in 2023. Then obviously rose to prominence when Damian Priest cashed in on Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 40 over a year ago to win the World Heavyweight Championship. This year, Damian Priest has eliminated Drew McIntyre from the Royal Rumble. He pinned him in the Elimination Chamber. He cost him the United States Championship at Backlash in that fatal four-way with Priest, McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and LA Knight. Drew did get some revenge on Priest by again defeating him in that Sin City Street fight at WrestleMania 40. But as both of these men said, this over a year long rivalry between these two titans, both former world champions. These two have had matches for the World Heavyweight Championship, including in Drew McIntyre's home native land of Scotland at Clash of the Castle last June. They will now finish their rivalry in a steel cage match. And obviously, there's a lot of tradition with steel cage matches and Saturday night's main event. I'm really looking forward to this match. I love steel cage matches. I love the drama of them. My favorite part of steel cage matches, if you will, I don't necessarily love when guys get pinned or submitted. I love the drama where somebody is going over the top of the cage, somebody is climbing out through the door, and you have to see whose feet it first. I could see that scenario here where, Priest maybe goes out the door, McIntyre climbs over the top. It obviously takes McIntyre a longer time to get down. Priest just beats him out the door, which to me would be a fitting end for this feud. I think that Drew McIntyre won at WrestleMania means Damian Priest gets his revenge here. The babyface goes over. It will be a very fun TV steel cage match where these two guys are just going to be throwing bombs at each other. And I always love in steel cage matches when the heel, in this case Drew McIntyre, as soon as the bell rings, tries to start escaping the cage. Like, bro, where are you going? Drew's been in a lot of cage matches. He obviously was in Hell in a Cell this past October with CM Punk. And again, I think these two men have good chemistry in the ring with each other. They always have good matches, similar size, build. But I think this rivalry concludes with Damian Priest going over. Then we'll get to the big tag team match featuring Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, who of course are being accompanied by Paul Heyman after Seth Rollins introduced Braun Breaker into his group, The Raw, after WrestleMania 41. They take on the team of CM Punk and Sami Zayn, who WWE is sort of playing off as this unlikely duo, which I don't really understand because I always thought CM Punk big baby face, Sami Zayn big baby face. They obviously got along in War Games when the original Bloodline, along with Punk, took down Solo Sikoa's Bloodline. That I don't understand. They obviously have a common enemy, as CM Punk is trying to get revenge for what Paul Heyman did to him in the triple threat match with him, Rollins, and Roman Reigns, who we have yet to see at WrestleMania 41. And then you have Sami Zayn, who Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn have a lot of history, obviously, as good friends back and forth, but they sort of have this frenemy relationship. And then you have Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn's relationship, who, of course, they fought at Money in the Bank, and they also fought at SummerSlam, where I was at last year in Cleveland, where Breaker did take the Intercontinental Championship off of Zayn. So they have a ton of history. Seth Rollins obviously beat down Sami Zayn along with Breaker a couple weeks ago. And again, Sami and Punk here, the storyline is they're fighting against um the same enemy here and trying to team up. I think there could be some accidental spot where maybe Sami runs into Punk or there's some miscommunication here. I don't think Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins take the fall as they are in their first tag team match as a team. I'll be honest with you, I thought, this may lead to Rollins and Breaker versus CM Punk and the OTC, not Sami Zayn, but we have not seen the OTC since the night after WrestleMania 41. Maybe Roman Reigns comes out here to save the day. We know him and Sami Zayn obviously have history, Sami Uso, the bloodline, all that. I don't see it. I think that this group will eventually be used to push Braun Breaker to the top. I could very well see a scenario where Seth Rollins is the one who does take the World Heavyweight Championship away from the Yeet Man, Jey Uso, who we'll get to. He's going to main event this show against Logan Paul. I could see a scenario where Braun Breaker potentially wins Money in the Bank, and then Breaker, similar to what Tiffany Stratton did to Nia Jax, Breaker turns on Seth Rollins, wins the World Heavyweight Championship eventually, catapults the stratosphere. And listen, again, these guys are going to be a fun, entertaining match. CM Punk got one of the biggest pops I've heard in the last decade. Greensboro, South Carolina, this past Monday night on Raw. This is going to be an incredibly fun match, in my opinion. But I'll take Rollins and Breaker with the victory. I do think Rollins pins Sami Zayn. Then we get to John Cena versus R-Truth, which I'll be honest with you, the fact that it's a non-title match, maybe R-Truth does go over here. I would have preferred it to be for the Undisputed WWE Championship myself. But this story, of course, comes about after R-Truth, because John Cena was always his childhood hero, and he believes in "you can't see me" and never give up, and he refuses to believe that John Cena has changed. He saved John Cena against Randy Orton in that terrific main event at Backlash, but then John Cena ate R-Truth for the press conference table afterwards, and that's how we get to this match. Listen, R-Truth may not be the best in-ring competitor of all time, but anything R-Truth does is entertaining. John Cena appearing in now his de facto hometown where he resides in Tampa, Florida, for Saturday night's main event, returning back to that big stage in prime time. The last real champion, 17-time world champion John Cena, and R-Truth. This will be one of their first matches one-on-one since 2011, Capital Punishment. When R-Truth was the heel smoking cigarettes, he turned on John Morrison. Remember, that was the R-Truth Miz tag team back in the day. Listen, this is obviously a different dynamic now. I think Truth's going to have a moment. He's going to hit a scissors kick or something. There's going to be a near fall. The crowd's going to be really into it. I could see R-Truth potentially tapping out here to the STF. Cena has not used that move as much to win his matches, and the storyline is going to be John Cena is going to underestimate R-Truth. It's going to be a very fun, entertaining event. Then we have Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship main eventing. And Logan Paul has sort of been in this spot where it's like, if you need a challenger for Roman Reigns in the Undisputed Championship, Crown Jewel 2022, let's throw in was that 22? I believe so. Yes, it was 22 because he was still a babyface at that point. It was his third ever match. Let's throw in Logan Paul. If we need a match for Cody Rhodes in Saudi Arabia at the event in 2023, let's throw in Logan Paul. Now, or excuse me, in 2024, at King and Queen of the Ring, let's throw in Logan Paul. And then if we need a world championship match for Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event, let's throw in Logan Paul. I think the fact that they have made it clear that Gunther will challenge the winner of this match on the Raw after Money in the Bank in Phoenix, Arizona is clearly going to be Jey Uso. I talked about it earlier that I do think that Seth Rollins is going to be the one to eventually dethrone Jey Uso. My prediction is at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I do think Jay's going to return here. Again, Logan Paul never has a bad match. He's always entertaining on the mic. Jey Uso is super over. I find myself yeeting in my living room every Monday, every Friday, everywhere this man comes on the TV. He's absolutely electric. He's getting better in the ring. Uh, but I am surprised a little bit that outside of the Seth Rollins match, this is his first main, big show, world championship defense. His match with Rollins for the world championship was fantastic, which is why I do think they're going to run it back at SummerSlam. I'm excited for Jay and Gunther. Again, the only thing that sucks about this is there's no chance Logan Paul is going to win. So it brings down the steam a little bit. There's going to be some good moments. There's going to be a moment where because Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins injured Jay Uso last week on Raw, maybe Logan Paul targets the ribs. He's gonna hit him with a titanium right hand. There's gonna be a moment where we all think Logan Paul is gonna win the championship, and we forget about the fact that Jey Uso is gonna win this match because that is the art of professional wrestling. Overall, I think it's a good match. Gunther may show up either before the match and sit at ringside, or he may be, after the match make an appearance. I'll be very interested to see which match they send Jesse the Body Ventura on. I could see him doing the steel cage match. I could see him doing this John Cena match to get his comments on John Cena, and I could see him talking about the World Heavyweight Championship and talking about how over the Yeet Man main event Jey Uso is. Very excited. Again, this PLE, it may be somewhat predictable. But it is a TV special. It's meant to have a lot of fun, and this card is absolutely loaded. And we're gonna get some tremendous moments Saturday night in Tampa Bay, Florida. Again, to recap, I'll have Damian Priest go over Drew McIntyre in that steel cage match. I'll have Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins defeat CM Punk and Sami Zayn, with Seth Rollins pinning Sami Zayn. I'll have John Cena defeat R-Truth with the STF, and then I'll have the babyface go over in the main event. Jey Uso defeats Logan Paul. Everybody's yeeting. Gunther will come down to the ring, and they will do a stare down as they prepare for their June 9th matchup on Monday Night Raw in Phoenix, Arizona. That will close the show. A stare down between Jey Uso and Gunther. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.